Well, Tim Mander, Minister for Sport and Racing. Well, it's great to be at Eagle Farm today on race day, where there's a real buzz around as participants come in today to enjoy another day at racing. Today I want to announce what was an election commitment for the LNP, and that is a comprehensive review of the racing industry. The racing industry is a major industry in our economy, contributing around $2.4 billion a year. There's about 50,000 participants, 16,000 people are directly employed by racing, so it makes a major contribution to our economy, and it's important that we get things right. Over the last few years, there's been a number of inquiries and reviews. They've all been reactionary. This review will be proactive, and I think it'll be the most comprehensive review that's been done in the last 25 years. We want to ensure the ongoing sustainability of thoroughbred racing, harness racing, and obviously greyhounds as well. And so this is a chance for us to look under the hood and to come back with some recommendations and hopefully go forward to make sure the industry not only survives but thrives. Today is the first part of that review, and that is the release of a discussion paper. What we want is that we want people involved in the industry, whose livelihoods revolve around the industry, to have their say. So this discussion paper opens today. There's a number of themes that have been included, but we want people not to be constrained by that, but to give any idea that they have. So they have an opportunity to do that right up to March 30th. Then we'll look at those submissions, and that will help us shape the terms of reference going forward. I also want to announce today that the reviewer will be Matthew McGrath. Matthew is a respected person in the racing industry. He's the former chair of the Australian Turf Club. We looked for somebody that was independent but had a thorough knowledge of racing. He's had 3 decades of successful business experience, and only thing against him, he's also on the board of Cronulla Football Club, but we'll accept that anyhow. He's obviously had lots of experience in sports administration. He'll be supported by a steering committee of experts, local experts, across the 3 codes, and they will get out and about at the end of this discussion paper period and meet the people that are involved with racing right across the state. The issues that have come to light for me over the last 4 years as Shadow Minister are things like governance, things like funding structures. How do we have fit-for-purpose infrastructure? Animal welfare, how do we ensure integrity and the best standards with regards to animal welfare? And how do we make sure that country racing survives? Country racing in particular is part of the social fabric of our regional communities, and there's been struggles with regards to the infrastructure that they have, workforce challenges as well. And these are the types of issues that we want to get across and have some recommendations about. So today's the beginning of the discussion paper. That will be open right from this moment. People can go to the website or scan the QR codes. There's these booklets that are available as well that gives instructions on how people can give feedback. So very excited about the future. I think the racing industry has a healthy future. It's vital that we do make sure that it thrives because of the contribution it makes and because of the number of people it affects. It is the only sport that has its own ministerial portfolio, and that's because of how important it is. Happy to answer any questions. We will. The review will take about 6 months, and the final review will be finished at the end of September. Recommendations will be made to me. We will look at those recommendations, and then the government will decide the way forward after those recommendations are considered.
So does this discussion paper make any suggestions on some of those issues, or is this purely like a survey that the people within the industry helping?
There's some guiding themes that we have mentioned, and there's some of the things that I've just mentioned as well, but it's open slather. Anybody that's been involved with the racing industry knows that people are not shy in the industry about giving their opinion, and now I'm encouraging them to do that formally. And there are many challenges, as all industry has challenges. But this is an opportunity for us to really, as I said earlier, look under the hood and try to make some changes that will ensure the ongoing sustainability of the industry.
What is the likelihood that animal welfare concerns that are raised from this process could actually change the way the laws are structured in Queensland?
Well, again, I don't want to preempt anything, but the industry is very conscious of animal welfare. And there are a number of programs one is legislated and other programs to help the rehoming of animals once they've finished racing. And I'm conscious of community concerns about those types of issues. That's why it's important that we have integrity in this area and that we have the best programs available. So let's do an evaluation of those current programs. Let's see if they can be improved. And I'm confident that we can get to a situation that ensures that the animals are well looked after. I don't accept some of the things you've said with regards to the emphasis from Matt McGrath. He was the chair of the Australian Turf Club in a time when the industry was really booming down south and really grew. So he knows about the racing industry. Yes, he has a business background, and that's important that we have a commercial overview of these types of things. But racing in the regions and in some of the more remote areas are having the same struggles that other industries are in those areas as well, when I talk about workforce issues. Now, some individual clubs have had their own struggles, and they're being dealt with by RQ. But I don't want to look at sort of individual clubs solely. I want to look at the more systemic issues to help us have funding sources that are reliable and that organisations like RQ can literally bank on. At the moment, wagering has softened over the last year. It's down 8%. That directly affects funding for racing. So we need to look at what other models might be available, what other ways we can do things to ensure the ongoing sustainability of all our racing clubs across the state.
Minister, on Olympics, is the government prepared to go back on its promise of no new stadiums if there are 100
Well, look, I think the Premier's answered that question many, many times over the last 100 days. Let's just wait now. We're getting very close to the end of the 100-day period. As you know, the recommendations that the government carries forward will be announced on the 25th of March. I'm looking forward to that. I think it's been a very, very healthy process. There's been lots of public discussion, which has been great. But those final recommendations will come to the public on the 25th. We've been very transparent about that. And I am very confident Queenslanders will be excited about the outcomes.
There are reports today that review is recommending a new stadium.
There is lots of speculation about the review. I'm not going to add to that. It serves no purpose. We will all find out in the next few weeks, 25th of March, on what the final recommendations are.
Does a new stadium rule out Brisbane Live?
Again, I'm not going to speculate about what the venues are. That's been part of the problem with the previous government that stuffed around basically for over 1,000 days. Politicians got involved in making decisions that they were not equipped to make. And that's why we've appointed the Independent Infrastructure Authority, and they'll come up with those recommendations, and government will view those and decide what we go forward with.
There's like Tom Tate being very loud and speculating himself. Do you like that?
Well, every day I read the paper, Tom's got a new idea. So it's great to see that he's out there, and he's obviously very passionate about the Gold Coast. That's what you want for your area. You want somebody strongly advocating. I love the fact that we've had different groups, different cities, different councils, all coming and saying, we want part of the games in our location. I think that's fantastic. It shows that the people of Queensland are behind the games, and it's great to have options.
How will you keep your commitment to the people of Queensland on costs if the report recommends that that's not possible?
Well, that's part of the challenge, but that's also the brief that's been given to the Coordination Authority. They know the funding envelope that they're working within, and that is part of the challenge. I mean, had we acted a couple of years ago, it wouldn't be as challenging as it is now. No Olympic venue had the lead-in. excuse me. No Olympic venue had the lead-in time that we had, which was nearly 10 years, and it's been squandered over the last 3 years because of the previous government. Now we've got to play catch-up and get things done as quickly as possible.
The Premier has consistently said that there will be no new stadiums. If this 100-day review recommends there will be a stadium, what are you guys going to do?
Well, let's not speculate about what might be suggested. Let's wait until those recommendations come down, and then you can ask every question you want along those lines.
Might I ask, how much of a bearing would ticket sales on resources and infrastructure and stadiums have on the Cabinet's decision making after GECA and its own recommendations?
Well, GECA is very aware of those types of implications, and the IOC and the international sports federations do have numbers, if you like, that are associated with the different sports, with what's required, and they are conscious of the revenue that comes from those. So that's all part of the original heads of agreement that we've entered into. Those factors are known by GECA, and that will affect their decision making.
Tom Tate's also unveiled plans to try and steal the Magic Round from Brisbane. Could that potentially happen?
Well, as I said earlier, Tom's trying to steal every sporting event at the moment. That's great. He's doing what he thinks is best for the Gold Coast. The Magic Round is in Brisbane. It's going to be here for the next couple of years. Negotiations will start shortly about extending that. It's good to see that Tom's in the picture. Let's just wait and see.
Does the state government have any, indication that you might want to try and spread the Magic Round around the state, considering how many NRL venues there are?
Well, again, I don't want to be evasive, but I don't want to speculate because, I mean, Suncorp Stadium is the centre of rugby league in this state. It's been tremendously successful over the last couple of years. The economic boon that Magic Round is to Brisbane and the southeast Queensland corner, which the Gold Coast would benefit from as well, has been a major contributing factor. So let's just wait and see what happens. But again, I'm really happy that there are people that want major sporting events in their city or in their town.
On health, how did the results of 2 cancer patients get mixed up?
Look, that's a really distressing situation, and the government's thoughts are with those women who were affected by this, and we're providing every bit of support that we can. Obviously, that's something that we do not want to happen again, and so there's investigations taking place at the moment to see how this actually took place. Our aim is obviously to support those women at the moment in their time of need, and also to make sure that we put procedures in place to make sure this never happens again.
Yeah, do you think this undermines the confidence that some people may have in the health system and perhaps to go and get those screenings?
Well, I would recommend that women continue to use those services with confidence. I don't want to speculate about what actually happened because I myself am not sure, and I'm not sure anybody knows definitively. We'll do that investigation. The women that have been affected by this have really asked that it wasn't made public. They obviously it's a very distressing situation. We're trying to respect their privacy, and that's what we'll try to continue to do going forward.
Last question.
Just on the police commissioner, and Mr. What's your reaction to
Look, it's very sad news. I was shocked when I heard about it late yesterday. The Commissioner is a very respected figure, very public figure in our state, and so we in the government are wishing him very well for his recovery. We want him to take as long as he needs to, and we're very, very hopeful that sometime in the future he can return to work in full health.